Ray here in Costa Mesa, California, looking at a very nice and very special 1932 Ford Roadster. You gotta dig the look and feel of a style car like this, and there's only, I'm gonna just call it Time Warp Kool. It's a very nicely done restoration that was completed in 1997-98, but it's been extremely well taken care of and remained in the hands of only a couple guys over the last 20 years or so, 16, 20 years in that range. We have full documentation with the original restoration book, build book, so you have it. It's sitting on a Boyd Coddington chassis, and there was one thing you can't, it's the stance of this car that just takes you back to Time Warp Kool. We'll step back here and kind of give you a feel of it, how it sits. It actually has a hard top that's body color with the same leather interior as the roof of the car on the headliner. Pardon me being a little bit crooked there, just getting going today. These Boyd Coddington chassis on these cars are they're just really neat. So it's sitting on Corvette suspension. It's custom 4-bar in the back here. We'll cover a lot of that up on the lift. Rack and pinion steering, true Boyd stuff, knockoff wheels. Actually, the Boyd wheels that were originally on this car are included with the car, and we'll have that with portion of the video. It is painted Boyd yellow. Again, it was restored in 1997 era. It's got about 5,000 miles on it, and it's just spectacular in its presentation. It's amazingly well protected over the years. It was originally built by Masterpiece Rod Shop in Denver, Colorado area. And then the interior was done by Auto Weave in Denver. It spent time at SoCal Speed Shop here in Southern California for miscellaneous things. So it's back in SoCal here where it's had a lot of love and recent attention, and in other words, just a little wipe down and stuff like that. The only reason it's for sale is due to a loss in the family, and a good friend's actually handling the sale, and that good friend happens to be the gentleman that had it originally built. So we have a lot of good history on this car. We'll share the details with you at spudsgarage.com. It has a Duval windshield on it, which has a nice little cap that's handmade. You'll actually take this cap off to put the hard top on, and it's really not that big a deal. We'll actually have a video with the top on the car here shortly. But the paint is Boyd Coddington yellow. It's absolutely beautiful. It's extremely well taken care of. I've had cars that are a few years old that have more flaws than this car. Braided brake lines, you gotta love that Boyd Coddington suspension, Corvette rear end, coilovers in the front. It sits low. The front frame rail here, I don't know if you notice, is almost perpendicularly level to the ground, and then it kind of hikes up in the back to give you a nice rake in the car. Step back and give you a good look at the feel here. Pardon me for bouncing around my camera. It's early in the morning, first photo shoot of the day. Has a 3-piece aluminum hood on it, and we're going to have names of component builders and so on and so forth. It has a 350 Chevy V8 with tune port fuel injection, turbo 350 transmission. Sometimes I feel like I need to keep talking because it gets a little silent, but it's what I do. I like to cover it. I like to keep it not boring for you folks. Auto Weave of Denver, they're very well known for their interiors. It's very unique. All the sculpted on the door panels. This is all leather. And again, you'd never know that this car was built 97, 98. It's near flawless. Early VDO gauges, the miles on the odometer are that of the build, 50, right at 5,000 miles. We're actually fired up here for you. Look at the billet pedals. Shifter here. Polished steering column. We're actually getting a little bit of overcast spit on the car right now, so it won't hurt you, or it won't hurt the car either. Just a little wipe down here. Leather interior. I mean, you feel like you're laying back in this thing. Just a cool car to run and drive in. Very nice. The trunk's trimmed the same way. Wait till we get the back of the car here. Got CompTA radials. Like, there's an extra set of wheels and tires that we've actually videoed that you'll see that are included with it in their original Boyd knockoffs. I probably already covered that, but sometimes I repeat myself. Kind of give you a quick little peek at the rear end. We will have it up on a lift, do an undercarriage, so on and so forth. Everything's been ball turned, the oil pan, the bell housing inspection plate. Look at the coilovers, chromed. It's either chrome plated or polished, one or the other. Has a drop down license plate. As soon as you turn it on, start it up, the car plate comes down. Recessed tail lights here. It is a fiberglass body. It's a beautiful body. We're not sure the exact manufacturer. There's something about race car bodies up in the cowl, but could be a Westcott, but it's an extremely well built body. Cars like this are just really special and really fun, but you know, time warp cool. That's what I call it. A lot of fun doing these cars. I'm gonna walk up here and we're gonna invite you in, kind of give you a better feel of the driver's side here. We're gonna fire it up and again, we're gonna go whip the top on it and give you a good feel of the car with the top on it. You can see here's one of the hardware here you take this top piece on, then the top actually fits on and attaches right here. It has nice custom brackets. You can take this hood off and you can take the hood sides off. They remove easily, the three-piece hood. You can take just the top off. You can have them all off. You can have just the top on. You could have just the sides on. Anyway, I'm thinking you get the idea there. Seat belts. We're gonna fire it up here. Boyd's steering wheel goes along with the Boyd's chassis. These Boyd's chassis are just cool. Ignition keys down here. Starts right up. The fuel injection is just sweet. Almost 14 volts. Fuel's a little low. Temperature gauge is working probably about 120 or so right now. We just pulled it out of the shop. Oil pressure is almost 60, 55. The miles on it at the time of inspection here are 5790.9. I'm gonna rev it up so you can hear it here. We'll actually take it for a quick little drive here. Step out and let you hear it run. We're gonna have little clips all the way through here where you'll hear the car run. We're gonna have a super long, we'll be able to put together a nice little detailed story. We'll have pictures of the restoration, so on and so forth. Anyway, at this time, we're probably gonna ask you to get in. I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna take it for a spin, put you behind the wheel, flip the seat down here. You definitely wanna go to spudsgarage.com. You're on Spuds Garage YouTube. You wanna hang around to the end of the video here. About time to take a look underneath the hood. Wow. It's always a fun part to pop underneath the hood. This is a really neat little car. Super clean. The hood sides, I'll tell you about the engine here in just a minute, but I'd like to tell you the hood sides come off very easily on this car. So you can go three or four different, three combinations, I guess. You can remove these fasteners. The hood sides pop right up and straight off. There's pins right here to remove the top, the hood top. This is all aluminum, by the way, so it's extremely lightweight. These pins, you just push them and these pins pop out and you can take the top off, so you can run topless, you can run without the sides and the top on, or you can run them with all the way off or on, so it's four. Anyway, it's a very nicely done, the same level of detail throughout this car. Time warp cool, that's what I call this car. Lot of polished billet aluminum, stainless hardware, button heads, Allen button heads all the way down. It's a 350 V8 with polished aluminum heads, polished intake manifold, tune port. There's the individual injectors per cylinder, polished water neck housing, polished pulleys, polished radiator tank. The tank on here, and we're going to try and dig up some of the little history there. Al Race Enterprises, or race car bodies. Anyway, kind of giving you a feel about the engine compartment. Turbo 350 transmission, Corvette rear transaxle. But you definitely have to wait till you look at the undercarriage on this car. We covered it on the left. The Boyd Coddington chassis is just spectacular. Anyway, we're going to stop right about here and make sure that we, well, as I make one little pass over, make sure I got everything. It's a GM HEI ignition. And of course, all the AN fittings and the braided lines and so on and so forth. And anyway, you get the idea. Go to spudsgarage.com, but make sure you hang on to the end of the video. Have a great day. All right, he's going to fire it up, bring it out of the of the shop here for us. Craig gets a chance to revisit yesterday with this car. Woohoo! Hey, we just got done on the lift here. Thought we'd share pulling it outside for the photo shoot. So if you hang on, we're gonna have the undercarriage photos here. Kind of fun, eh? Look at the reflections on the side of the hood panel there. At the end of the video here, but this is the first thing that we do. And I'm sure you're gonna hear me say this in the beginning of the video, but this is just so time warp cool. Boyd Coddington chassis. Dressed to the nines. Unbelievable, the design and the build on these and the stance that this car has. Again, I'm probably repeating myself from the beginning. This is the beginning, but it's actually the end. Go figure that one out. Anyway, a lot of chrome, polished billets, stainless, button head bolts. The restoration done on this car is just unbelievable. And the Boyd yellow chassis is, the paint down here on the bottom side of the car is just as nice as the top of the car. You'll see this is all billet. This is custom turned diff cover. This is early Corvette. This is Corvette independent. Inboard disc brakes, aluminum, chromed axle half shafts that look like they're custom done. These meg tips on the back. Obviously you've heard it run by now. This license plate frame actually drops down. It's air driven when you fire the car up. Wow. A lot of stainless hardware on this car. Button head, Allen button head. You'll see them up here. Plated nuts and bolts. Magnaflow glass pack style mufflers. We haven't even heard it run yet. You're at the end of the video, so you've already heard it run. Anyway, this chassis that Boyd puts together is just unbelievable. It gives this car just a wicked stance. If you look here, you'll be able to tell right here where the back of the car starts to go up on the frame rail. And we'll show you up on the lift here as I step back, and we'll kind of give you a feel of it up in the air here. There's the master cylinder and the horn. Turbo 350 transmission. It has the same turned, polished, you know, the same turn that you see on the same differential, or milled, whatever you like to call it, ball milled. It actually has a flywheel inspection cover that's done the same. I don't know where those are from or if they were hand built by Boyd at the time years ago, but this is a Boyd Coddington chassis. It's clearly obvious. He just did some amazing stuff back in the day. The rack, how it's inset into the frame here. And the frame's actually notched so that the control arms can travel and you can get this car down in the weeds and low, but really kind of a nice stance, low in the front and high boy in the back. This car doesn't leak a drop. This is a really nice, tight little car. Has polished stainless exhaust on it, hand belt looks like, aircraft style clamp connections. I could probably go on forever. This is the Earl's trans cooler is what that is. I don't know that I covered that yet. I'm gonna stop and then we'll reverse direction and head back. I know I've kind of been bouncing around a little bit, but we really wanna kind of give you a good feel. See the disc brakes, all the polished hardware, the spindles, so on and so forth. Coilover, adjustable coilovers, so you can pretty much set this wherever you want. But I can tell you, based on looking what I see here, the geometry is perfect. Those things, the lower control arms are straight out. Just really nice. I promised I reversed the angle here. We took a little break there so we could slide the pans to the back of off the lift here. Anyway, you'll see the level of detail on this car. It's absolutely amazing. This car was finished in 1997. It looks like the day, almost the day it was done, or it's only a few years old. About 5,000 miles on this chassis. I know the light's a little odd right now, but I really want to kind of give you a good feel of both angles of this chassis. Look at the structure on it. It's a nice little drop out here so you can get the tranny out. But the finish on the floor pans here is just as nice as the top side of the car. This is the kind of car you pull up into a show and people go, dude, look at that. They throw a mirror underneath it. It's just spectacular. Anyway, chrome drive shaft. Thanks for coming to Spud's Garage. Make sure you're on Spud's Garage YouTube. Make sure you go to spudsgarage.com where we'll have a lot more. I wanted to cover one little spot here that I didn't cover when I was in the back here. This panel is custom made to hide it, but it's also nicely finished behind it. When I say this panel, the panel that's around the license plate there. Here's the top for it, which is just incredible. It's fit perfectly to the Duval windshield on it. Has a custom trim piece at the top of the windshield. The finish on this is just like the rest of the car. It's just spectacular. It's hard to say in words how this Boyd yellow is, but it is just sweet. Here's a windshield wiper for it right here. If you could lift this up, Craig, just kind of tip it so I can show them the leather headliner in it. This fits on the car very easily. You'll obviously see photos at Spud's Garage with it, and our video here with the top on. That's good, perfect. I want to walk around to the back here. Video clip here. This is where the piece comes off. So you could actually run this windshield without the top brace or with it. You can see the tint on it. As promised, we're going to give you a quick little clip with the top on. We did the full walk around on the rest of the car. You know, this car's neat. You can get 3 different looks out of it. So you can have the bar, you can actually have it off, you can have the top on, so on and so forth. We're going to have a couple clips regarding the top. Anyway, the finish on the top is just as nice as the rest of the car. Gives this thing just a bitchin' look. Time warp Kool. Short little walk around on the top here and doing what I do. We'll kind of tip you into the inside here. I know I'm moving a little fast this morning. There's actually quite a bit of room in there. I'm 6'1", I sit in there, it's good. Any taller than that, you may have a little bit of a problem. The fun part's driving this car with the top off, obviously, it's a Roadster. Anyway, all right, these wheels, these are original Boyd knockoffs that are included with the car. So the set of wheels that are on the car and this set, so you have 2 sets of wheels, but these are original Boyd knockoff wheels and tires. So when you buy it, you're gonna have to plan for the extra transport of these wheels and tires. They're BF Goodrich TAs. There you go.